before you buy a single piece of backup software, I want you to do one thing. I want you to think about how much work you do in a day. Not the big picture stuff like your actual construction company or anything. Just the actual changes. Files saved, invoices entered, records updated. You doing 20 minutes a day of work? You doing an hour a day? So take that a step further. Now ask yourself, can you redo all that tomorrow? And can you redo it the day after? And what does a week look like? And what does a month look like? And everybody's got different, let's call them retention policies for saving their data. But what's your backup strategy look like, and does it reflect your changes of data? So I'm going to kind of get into that here, right? I'm Jeremy with BondByte Inc. here in Yakima, Washington. We do IT, web design, software for small businesses in the Valley, and we do big business software for companies out of California and everything else. But one thing I always seem to get asked, whether my initial engagement was about backups or not, people come and they ask me about these backup strategies and if they're doing it correctly. So we went out, we purchased the software, and now we resell that to you, right? So let's talk about the math, the 20-minute idea. Let's say you're just doing 20 minutes of changes a day, right? So you're going to lose 5 days. That's like 100 minutes, right? Well, that's okay. You could probably get the 100 minutes back next week, right? But now start thinking longer term, right? Like you lose a whole, what if you lose a whole month now, right? And then what if you lose the whole year, right? You're looking at maybe 86 hours to recreate that data from scratch. How does that impact your current workflow and business stuff? Now let's completely change gears, right? Now let's say that we're a company. So let's say that 20 minutes was for a graphics and design company, right? That does print stuff. Well, that's fine. But a lot of those guys are reprinting stuff from customers they've already done work for, right? So they kind of do the work a little cheaper or affordable, but then they know the person's going to come back and keep using that work. Well, assume you lose that, right? Well, that really quick job to turn around and do some signage print or something now turns into a real task because you got to recreate content in order to do that, right? So there's that. Those people have a really long longevity for their backups. We've worked with other companies. I've worked with other companies. Their backup strategy is they have 5 people working all day long, creating a ton of data and documents, right? But the life of that data and documents only 3 years, right? So they may not be concerned with the longevity of that data, but they can't afford to go back and do or make up a week's worth of work. So everybody kind of comes into this situation of backups a little different, and I try to understand that. That uniqueness, right? So this software system we have 2 options on doing the backup. We can do on-prem backups, backup to storage devices, or we can back up to the cloud. The prices that you see on the website, those are reflective of the first terabyte of data. We can go well beyond terabytes of data, and we're in a position to do that, right? So local backup, what does that mean? We'll come in, we'll attach something to your computer, or we'll attach something to your server, depending on that, and then we'll back up to that device locally. What that does is gives us really fast restore times in the case of a complete outage. Pulling stuff down from the cloud, not even going to sugarcoat this. It takes a while, right? Especially a ton of data that's local, right? So what we're finding right now is kind of the best answer for a lot of businesses is both. Maybe not always, but in some cases we like to back it up both on-prem and in the cloud, right? So we have some devices that we could recommend you purchase. You'll purchase, we'll attach them, we'll get it all configured up. We try not to do a lot of resale here, but we do some referral work back to Amazon. So if that's something you're interested with, we can drop you a link and you can go buy a recommended storage appliance, right? Here's the thing about backup software. It runs on a schedule, right? And it reports back to who, right? We like to do our services, most services here, as time and material. We're not a huge fan of doing full remote managed services where we bill you by the computer every month. We believe that this IT is more of a holistic approach on how you do business. We want to sit down with you. We want to understand how you do business and what you consider a priority within your computing environment, right? So we're not just going to come in here and sell you one cost solution, right? We kind of do this with backups and things like that. Maybe you don't need to back up daily. Maybe your backup frequency is weekly. We don't necessarily recommend that, but we're going to help you. We're going to help you, manage your IT the way you see fit. We used to sell unmonitored backups. The problem with an unmonitored backup is essentially it's not a backup. Nobody's keeping an eye on it. You don't know if the data's there. It's just a feel-good thing that you're paying for. So we don't believe in that. This is the only product we sell here at BondByte that actually comes with a managed backup thing, right? And so I'm going to switch over real quick. We're just going to kind of watch the software here in the background a bit, and we'll see if I can do this and continue to run this sales pitch at the same time, right? Okay, so we're back over here, and you can kind of see I got a little virtual machine running Windows, and it's running a backup right now, right? And so you can see that it's in progress, and it's 49%, right? So, but back to this, right? So some of these managed services companies want to roll all this together. I don't do that. Like I said, I'm going to work with you about your Windows patches and updates and things like that, right? We're not going to be rolling those out daily. I don't believe in any environment that following the Microsoft bouncing ball of doing updates is productive for your business. Those updates cause disruptions. They cause printers to stop working. Worse yet, if you read the news, blue screen of death and all this other stuff, right? So, I want to work with you. If you want to do your updates monthly, we're happy to do that, and we'll do it on a T&M basis. If you want to do them quarterly, we'll do that too. If you just want me to come in and fix your stuff and you want to run it till the cows come home with no updates, I strongly don't recommend that. But we'll help you do that if that's what you want to do. So let's circle back around to backups. So this is pretty straightforward. The downloads and stuff are available on my website. You can download them, you can install them, you can do the demo. It's good for like 30 days. You can try the backup software yourself. You're welcome to reach out and call me. I can help you get it installed or set up, however you want to do that. Servers, it's a completely other animal. We do charge $119 a month to back up servers, and these are real servers. This will include things like Active Directory backups, SQL Server backups, and more role-based backups for servers. If a lot of that's not making a whole bunch of sense to you, reach out to me and I can explain to you a little bit more about roles and maybe what your business does, and then we can help you identify that. I don't necessarily consider QuickBooks, if you're still running QuickBooks on-prem on an Office desktop, I don't consider that a server, so you'll probably fall under that $19 a month workstation fee. So, really, do you need backups? Do the math on your own business. If you can afford to have a tremendous data loss and you can recover your business from that quickly, then you probably don't need these backups. I don't recommend not backing up. I'm kind of allowing you to choose your own adventure here. But again, definitely recommend the backups and the backup solutions we're offering. So if you have any questions, if you want a demo or something like that, reach out to me. I'm on a lot of the social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, website has phone numbers, emails, all that. Be welcome, or be really happy to hook you up with a demo of the product. So reach out to me. Appreciate it.